edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Headline edition will bring you special reports and interviews in a moment.
How you doing? This is the guy from Pittsburgh, and bear with me, I'm kind of sleepy, even though I got some sleep. Coffee only does so much. I want to talk about the concept of work. George Noory, John B. Wills, Jesse Ventura, Art Bell, they all go to work. They all get paid for being online. They get paid for doing radio shows. Wells gets paid for doing what's basically a podcast. I guess he's doing it to get his message out. I'm sure he does a nice voiceover work that he's not hurting for money, but I can't be sure about that. But Glendon Cameron recently said online about the concept of how to make a living. And how people perceive you. They think if you're doing something online, and you're not going to a real job, a 9-to-5 job where you punch the clock, whether it's 9 to 5, 3 to 11, 11 to 7, 8 to 4, people look down on you because you don't go to work for a living. And he said he had a friend who asked him, "You still doing that storage crap? Storage auction crap?" And he didn't say the word crap. He said the S word. Glendon laughed and said, "No, man, I do YouTube videos." And Glendon said he could feel the waves of disgust coming off his friend. "You do what?" And he says, "Yeah, I do YouTube videos. I make money on them." And the friend shook his head in disbelief. "Well, I'm doing this to make money. I haven't made a lot yet. It's not the main reason I do it. It's sure as hell not for narcissism. Because with this body, do I look like a narcissist? I'm doing it to entertain. I'm doing it to inform." When Jesse Ventura does his program for 15 minutes, that's work. And the other night, Noory kept bugging him about, "Oh, you should run for president. You should run for president." And Ventura said repeatedly, "Hey, I gotta have an organization. I don't have an organization. If someone wants to build me one, fine, I'll consider it." Noory didn't get it. Noory's clueless. Takes 3 years or more to build an organization to run for president in the Iowa primary. To start your run. That's with an established party. Jesse Ventura belongs to no party. I like the guy, but he's got things I disagree with him on. I wouldn't give back Gitmo to the Cubans. We have an electronics intelligence facility there. And I don't want terrorists living in this country. We got problems enough. We keep arresting homegrown terrorists. We don't need those bastards in this country. Let them stay in Cuba. But that's an aside. Noory does his show. He does show prep. I don't know how much he really does, but he gets paid to do his show. He gets paid when he does lectures. He gets paid when he goes to these conferences and paranormal events and fairs. And I'm sure that Ventura gets paid for his speeches. Glendon Cameron mentioned that Snooky, Jersey Shore Snooky, gave a speech to the graduating a class at Rutgers. They paid her $40,000 for that speech. And to some, they think Snooky's an idiot. She's cute, but they think she's an idiot. But they're paying her 40 grand to hear her talk. When you do videos online, it's work. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes organization. Even my videos, they aren't always organized. But you got to do research. You got to look up online for articles or stories or videos. I got a forum I post on there because there's things I think people may have find of interest. I also post the videos of Art Bell shows, Noory shows, John B. Wells, the Burns, and anybody else I can find, because I figure people want to hear them and they're all in one spot. You don't have to go searching all over YouTube or video. That's why I do that. And I'll tell you something else. Premier Radio is actively, Premier Networks, what do you want to call them, greedy bastards that they are, they're removing those Noory videos and those Art Bell videos almost as fast as they get posted. So if you want to listen to Noory or Art Bell, you better have a way to copy them, copy the audio to your computer, because they're going away fast. We're getting a lot of dead links to stuff that worked a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, or a month ago. Because Premier is demanding YouTube remove this stuff. It's their content. I spend about 6 hours a day or more on the computer, looking up weird news stories, looking up news stories. I'll give you an example of 2 of them. I have cats. I love cats. I have friends who have cats and love cats. I also happen to know women who work as escorts. They're my friends. They're women first and escorts second, something some of my haters have alluded to. I'm not seeing them professionally. I'm not paying them for sex. I'm not involved with them for sex. They're my friends. But they have cats, and they love their cats like I love mine. So I was looking on the board tonight, on one board, to find a friend of mine who's disappeared off the radar. And I found an interesting escort post. This escort now only accepts Bitcoin in payment for her services. No cash, no credit cards. And there's a tied-in story with that. I sent both the comments to George Noory. We'll see if he uses them tomorrow night. Or one of them anyway. The IRS has now determined that Bitcoin is not a currency. It's property. And so you will be taxed on your Bitcoins. I knew that was inevitable because the IRS gets their greedy hand into everything. They're the evil organization we have in this country. It should be abolished. We should go to a flat tax. And those on low income or unemployed wouldn't be required to pay that. Or they would get a credit. There's no reason to have an income tax in this country. But they're evil because of how they do things. People try to get around them. The IRS says, no, you can't get around using Bitcoin. We're going to grab your money no matter where you are. And they pass laws that are probably unconstitutional. They can grab your money from overseas. They'll grab your money in overseas accounts. They go after you no matter where you are. There's no escaping these bastards. There's a YouTube video of 10 hours of the Imperial March theme with Darth Vader. They should play that in the background every time the IRS is mentioned. Like Rush Limbaugh used to play that theme when he mentioned the evil empire of the Soviet Union. I post stuff in my forum. The Belgab and other lurkers are reading the posts. They're reading the articles I leave. They're watching the videos I leave. Not just my videos, other people's videos. I see it by the number of page views. I also see it by the number of hits to my videos about my commentary. And these people that leave comments about me being fat or stupid or get a job are just idiots. Their comments will be never seeing the light of day. I wish they'd come up with some originality, like I haven't heard a million times that I'm fat. I know I'm unemployed. But it's not a matter of laziness. I can't go to work. Well, let me show you part of the reason why. This is hydrochlorothiazide. It's a blood pressure pill. This is amlodipine mesylate. It's another blood pressure pill. This one I take twice in the morning. This one I take once a day. But I also take a rescue inhaler. They keep giving me the wrong stuff. It does not work. I keep complaining about it. They don't want to pay for the stuff I used to use. And then this is Spiriva. You may have seen it in the commercials. There's the box. This is a maintenance inhaler. You put these little green pills in there. I'm not going to open up because they're too damn easy to drop. You put them in there. And you close this thing. You press this little green button. It punctures the pill, and then you inhale it until all the powder's in your lungs. I have asthma. Never had it before 5 years ago. My nieces have it. They've had it all their lives. Art Bell's wife, Ramona, died from an asthma attack. When you have asthma, you can't breathe. Your lungs get full of fluid because you usually got COPD too. I've got COPD, and that's a problem with your lungs. Your lungs have little things called alveoli. They're little tiny pockets. They look like bubble wrap. And when you breathe, the oxygen is carried in your bloodstream, and it gets put in those little sacs. And normally those are full of air. But when you get fluid buildup because you've got a cold or bronchitis or pneumonia, instead of air, you get water. And you're choking because there's no air. When I got sick, I had 20% lung capacity. 18 doctor's visits for my surgery. I thought when I had the sinus surgery, I'd be done with the sinus infection stuff, but it didn't happen because I've got allergies. I'm allergic to grass, 26 different kinds of grass, not the kind of smoke, the kind that's on the lawn. And so I get allergy attacks, and that develops into a cold, and then that develops into sinus infection, and then the sinus infection drains in my lung, and then I get bronchitis. Or if it really gets bad, I've got pneumonia twice. Once you have COPD asthma, you have it for the rest of your life. There's no cure. These things are just to alleviate the symptoms, to allow you to breathe without choking to death. And there's times I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm gasping for air and have to use inhalers to breathe. And it might take an hour for me to be able to breathe normally, and then I can't get back to sleep. As a side effect of the sinus infections, I always get excruciating migraines above my eye, in my forehead. They move around. They last for hours. I'm in horrible pain. And I also have problems with my knee, particularly when it rains. Excruciating pain when the pressure changes happen because atmospheric pressure changes when rain approaches. So I never know from day to day whether I'm going to feel great in the morning or I'm going to feel like total crap or be in agony. I can't work. Even my girlfriend asked me the other day on the phone, would I go to work if I could? Yeah, I'd go to work. But with everything that's wrong with me, I got a bad back, I got high blood pressure, breathing issues, and a bad knee, I can't go to work. These people don't understand that. They think I'm just some lazy fat guy sitting here in front of the computer putting out stuff. But doing videos is work. Coming up with ideas, what to talk about is work. Looking up news stories to post in a forum is work. Looking up stuff to do weird news on is work. Listening to Art Bell programs or George Noory or John B. Wells or George Knapp or the Burnses is work. It takes time. I spend 6 hours or more on the computer every day just looking up stuff to post on or to talk about or to put on my forum. And I've spent as much as 18 hours in front of this computer. I finally got up and I'm so stiff I can't move because I'm sitting in one spot. I'm not making a lot of money on YouTube. That's a secondary issue. I'm doing it for entertainment. I'm doing it because I like it. I'm doing it because it's fun. I'm doing it to inform people or to talk about stuff I find it's interesting. Now I'll give you an example. Last night I watched this new show about NASA conspiracies or NASA secrets, whatever the hell they call it. And Bill Burns is on there. The guy's everywhere. But they never talk to Nancy. I keep wondering about that. Nancy Burns never gets to be one of these programs. For years, she's been typing away, editing UFO magazine, but she's always in the background. And then they give her crap on her future theater, and I've listened to that too, about how she cuts Bill off, she cuts other people off. She's just trying to get a word in edgewise. Bill usually does all the talking. I got nothing against Bill. It's just matter of fact. But listening to radio shows and trying to come up with something to talk about is work. And it's not because one guy said, I've made a career of picking on Noory. I mention Noory because I'm trying to get Noory to stop doing certain things. Like earlier tonight, I'm listening to the show. He said the same phrase 3 times. He repeats himself all the time. He tried to get Jesse Ventura to say he would run for president. He kept saying it over and over and over again. You could hear in Jesse Ventura's voice he was getting kind of pissed off. Ventura says, I need an organization. That doesn't happen overnight. And when you're running for president in Iowa, you need at least 3 years to come up with an organization to get you on the ballot. There's state laws that block third parties from getting on the ballot because it's rigged in favor of the Democrats and the Republicans. Ventura knows this. He's not a stupid man. He didn't belong in any political party, but it'd be a damn hard thing for him to become president because they put roadblocks in your way. Noory doesn't seem to understand this. I do, because I study about this. This is work. I'm not a lazy bum sitting in front of a computer. I do this to inform people, to entertain them, to have fun. If YouTube pays me money because each video, when they get 2,000 hits, they start paying you. Or when you get 9,000 subscribers, they start paying you. And how they pay you, there's ads in the video. You click on the ad, they pay you each time someone clicks on that ad. And they raise a check to make sure it's not you clicking on the ad. But it's still work. I like doing it. I can't go to work. I don't particularly want to go to work. If I could go to work, I'd go to work. But I hated going to work making somebody else rich while you're getting a relatively low amount of money. And every time you get a raise, your landlord or the guy with the gas station or the guy with the food store raises his price to cover his wages that go up for his employees. So you're like a rat in a treadmill. You never catch up. You're never going to get rich working for somebody else unless you make a ton of money. Like you're a CEO or you got a job that pays you $1 million a year. Then you get rich maybe. But then they'll tax the crap out of you. So you're posting online, it's work. If you're posting videos, it's work. If you're doing a blog, it's work. If you're doing a forum, it's work. If you're moderating a forum, it's work. It may be work if you go to work every day and you do this on the side, but if you don't go to work, it's still work. It's just not work as people look at it as a regular job. But in some ways, it's just as much work as if you went to work for someone else, because you're still going to spend the time and the effort. And I wish these guys were trying to insult me, at least be creative and come up with something new other than you're fat and you're a slob or you need to find a job. It's hard to find a job right now anyway. I got relatives that are out of work right now. They can't find one. So, and if they got a job, they sure as hell ain't going to quit one because there ain't a lot of jobs out there. No matter what Obama and Bernanke and Janet Yeltsin or whatever the hell her name is, the new head of the Fed, say, we're still in a crisis in this country. They just don't want to admit it. Okay, this is the guy from Pittsburgh. I'll do another video later on. Got all this cleaning to do. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.